thanks ever so much for joining me. We're on episode 5 of my knitting podcast. Lots of already. I'm from the north of England, and I'd like to show you what I've been knitting on. I have finished the Folksy Sweater, just finished it. I'll tell you why a little bit later on, but literally I got up, weaved in my ends, and it was dry enough to weave in my ends. In fact, it's dry, and I needed to do a little bit of steam blocking as well. So let me bring it closer. Here it is. This is the Folksy Sweater by Melody Hoffmann, and I've knit it in Jamison's of Shetland double knit. I have been worried about the neckline. I haven't yet fully properly tried it on. It is going to be a very wide gapey neckline. Yeah, I probably will have to put some shearing fabric in, and the reason for that is because I have scars running across the front of my chest. If you'd like to know why, if you don't know yet, I talk about it in the first 10 minutes of knitting podcast episode 1. So if I can show you what's going to happen when I lean forward, and that's going to expose my scars. Now, this isn't the type of sweater that I can wear with a t-shirt, because the t-shirt's just going to take over right at the very top. It's supposed to be a low neck, and the reasons for choosing this were quite romantic. It was a spring Easter sweater, inspired because I like these as the seeds, I like this as the cracked eggs, and I like these the little flower buds. So I wanted it for this Easter weekend, and that was my main goal. I will try and find something in my wardrobe to wear it with, because I want to wear it. I'm going up to Scotland in the camper van in a couple of days' time, and I want to wear that this weekend, being Easter weekend. So I will be wearing it. What with here, I don't yet know. I still, luckily, the bra straps issue isn't an issue because I no longer need to wear a bra. So this area here being exposed is okay. I think I would like to knit myself a crop top type thing, but it would need to be something with negative ease, because again, if it's floating about on my body and that then falls forward as I bend over, then again, that's not going to hide my scars. Also, I've had a look at some of them, and I think the V of the bra, I think that would expose the centre part. So if I can show a scar for this way starts here, and the scar for this way starts about there. So I need to work out whether I actually care, because I'm at one with my body shape and my scars. Me personally, I don't care, but do I want people to be looking at that just as much as would I want people to be looking at my cleavage? So I have some thought processes to do, and to be honest, I need to try it on, which is utterly ridiculous, but I have a very small window of opportunity to do this before Easter, and I'm taking it and I'm running with it. This has some, you probably won't be, yeah, you can. So if we look at it this way, this has some short rotor shaping at the back. So the hem falls at the same place as the back as it does at the front, and the neck rises bizarrely. And I haven't done this before. I've always done my short row shaping along the yoke. The short row shaping was done down here. So that was a new thing for me. And yes, on my vlog, I've been dabbling in vlogs, and I appreciate some people don't like it, but some people do like it. And I made a mistake. My chair's on the radiator and I'm squeaking, sorry. I made the mistake of putting knitting content in my vlog. So yes, I did try this on unblocked on there, and I was saying how I needed to block it because it kind of puffed out, and I don't have an utterly flat stomach to match my utterly flat chest, and I didn't need anything like that puffing out on me down there. I don't have a blocking mat. I've said before, I don't like to pin things out. So what I did was I soaked it yesterday in some wool wash. We know how we know the process we go through when we're blocking our knits, but I didn't pin it out. It had been sat on the radiator overnight and has dried beautifully. There was a slight puckering where the increases down here started, so I've stain blocked it. I've literally stain blocked it. Also, something else that I've done is I went up in needle size to do my sleeves, and it was risky because I'm a tight knitter and tight with colour work, and this whole body has been done in a 3.75mm needle. I haven't gone up as per instructions. I haven't gone up with needle size, and the reason why I did that was because there are quite large gaps in between the colourwork portions, so you have to catch floats, and I just thought, because I'm catching floats, I'm going to have enough ease, enough stringiness here that it should be all right, and I'm thrilled with it. It is okay. My colourwork has blocked out beautifully. So yes, so it was risky because this could have gone like that, and then with the extra needle size, this could have gone like that, but we're all right. We're okay. Yeah, you can see a little bit there. Yeah, you can see a little ridge there, but I'm more than happy with that. I mean, that's I'm not perfectionist. Dropping, excuse me, just pick my yarn up. So I think that was everything about the construction. The final bits that I had to tell you. I am going gooey-eyed over holding this yarn, this fabric that the yarn has made. It's stunning. If you like Spindrift, and there comes a time where you can make yourself a something out of double knitting Jamisons of Shetland, I would thoroughly advise it. Now, somebody in the comments, thank you very much, asked me if it was an itchy yarn, and I replied saying it felt rough. It did feel rough as I was knitting it. It now still feels rough, but with a little bit of smoothness and halo about it. I'm the wrong one to ask because I wear Let Lopi, I think it's bulky Lopi, Icelandic yarn. My camera cut off. The 10 minutes were up. Yes, so I wear the Icelandic bulky yarn in my hat. It's up there. I won't get it down. You've seen it all before on episode 1, I believe. So I'm the wrong one to ask. whether it's itchy or not. The truth be told, I've already filmed this part, but my camera didn't pick it up, so I can't actually remember what I've already spoken about and what I haven't. I think what I'll do is, I know that it hasn't caught the end bit of what I was speaking about, so I will speak about that. The round neck construction, there are so many patterns that I would, well, that's a fib. There's one pattern that I really would like to knit that has a round increase, and I've fallen for it hook, line and sinker. I will avoid round neck. I will avoid increasing in the yoke, I think, patterns. I don't think they're conducive to my body shape. I'm really pleased to have this, and I will find something that works with it. I really will. Do you know? I'm still creaking on the radiator. I will find something that works with it. I love the yarn. I've probably already said this. What was I talking about? Neckline, yoke necklines. I usually go for a raglan. It's worked well for me in the past. This is a lovely example of it working well for me. And but I've never knit a drop shoulder, and I'm thinking that the drop shoulder, it may work, because if I knit a box, if I knit say a rectangle or a square, I could work out what I need here and here and incorporate my arms. And then the only modifications I need to do from then is how long I knit my sleeves. So I think I'll give that a go. Yeah, I do. Or knit pieces and seam them. I've never done that. I have never knit pieces and seamed them all together. So there's some options there going forward. I don't think I've found my happy place with how I move forward with knitting for my body shape. But I'm very happy I have this. Very happy. It's lovely. The yarn is absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. And I'm not finished with this yarn. I have a project in mind that I would like to cast on using this again. I've fallen for this yarn 100%. 100%. Okay, so I'm going to put this away and tell you why I was so late in getting this finished and why I had to put it aside. I've hung it back up, but I've just folded it over the hanger. I don't want the hanger stretching that neckline anymore. Okie dokie. Right then, I'm squeaking again. There's always something every episode, isn't there? Always something. Okay. So my husband has family in Scotland, and we are going in the camper van at the weekend to visit my father-in-law, and then he's on the west coast, and then we're heading east to see his sister, his eldest sister. So we're very excited about that. The camper van has had one outing out. We went out in it at the weekend, and everything went fine. So fingers crossed we will be okay. I'm going to vlog this weekend, so if you're interested, that should be up at the end of the month. So why I haven't been able to get on with this one? Well, my father-in-law has a Shih Tzu dog. A very hairy little dog that they absolutely adore. They live on the west coast of Scotland, and they have their own little microclimate there where it's quite wet, but it's warmish. It's not, they don't get the north winds or the east winds. It's quite, you can grow some quite tropical plant. tripping over my lips. You can grow some quite tropical plants there, so it's not chilly. I mean, it does get cold, then they do get frosted. It's not immune to that sort of weather, but on the whole, it's very wet and damp over there. And they ask me every year, maybe every couple of years, can I make a woolly sweater for their dog? I made 2 previously, and it's absolutely fine, but they don't like wool. They have problems with drying wool, they tell me, and they like it to be in acrylic. Now I have a lot of problems with that because 1, I don't like knitting in acrylic. 2, my cancer was driven by estrogen, and I don't like using or wearing acrylic because of the microplastics, and they have a xenoestrogenic effect on the body, which just means that toxins and toxic load on the body, in the body, can behave like estrogen and be used by cells like they would use estrogen. So that's why a lot of the times you will see me only ever using some nylon in maybe a stock yarn. I try and stay right clear of it. So we had this issue of me just 6 months out of chemotherapy, trying to be really healthy, trying to be really good, having to knit with 100% nylon. But I did it. I picked some yarn up in Aldi and I started knitting this dog sweater. It was appalling colour. You'll see it in a minute. I shouldn't say appalling. People may love this colour, but I think it's pretty clear from my 5 episodes now that my aesthetic is quite muted and a little bit boring. I'm only learning to embrace colour, and I'm going step by step. Anyway, okay, so I got this Aldi yarn and cast this on it, and it was pooling awful. It was horrible. And then I looked and I had 20% wool in it, and I'm like, oh, can I get away with it? No, I better do as I'm told. So I went and I got some 100% acrylic yarn, and because time was short, I picked up super chunky. So I have knit my in-laws their 3rd dog sweater. And another reason why it's been so difficult to do it is because my husband and I are firm believers in a dog will regulate its own body temperature. And this is quite a fluffy dog that leads a pampered life. And when they say to me, Michelle, please can you make the neck longer this time because his neck gets cold? They adore him and they just want to look after him. But I don't think the dog lives the kind of life where it needs an acrylic jacket to sleep in. So it plays on my heartstrings because I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing the right thing for the parents. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing for the dog. So yeah, so this is the dog sweater. I can't remember what pattern I used. I will put it, I don't link my patterns. You might have noticed if you go down there. I will put the name of it and I will put who it's by, and then whoever wants to know where to get it from, they can do searches on platforms that they're comfortable accessing. I don't want to link to something that may give someone a headache maybe, or cause some eye strain issues or whatever. So yeah, I will write that down in the description box. You could call me a yarn snob because this is acrylic, but I think the colouring of this, and I think it's a king coal. It was in the sale in Boys for Us in the UK. I think the dye job on this yarn is beautiful. It's so interesting, and I already have an idea for what I want to make next. I think it's going to be that one, and it needs to be blues, kind of this shade of blue maybe. So this actually has given me confidence to make that step, to knit in a colour that I don't normally wear. I would wear navy blue, but I wouldn't wear a light blue, and I'm hoping that my colouring can cope with it. So that was one reason. I'm just going to pause the video just to stop it from cutting out on me, because I'm going to talk a bit more. And we're off again. So that left the Aldi yarn, and I have to admit, I am the sort of person that needs everything in its place, everything doing a job for me, earning its right in my life and in my home, and anything else really it brings me down. And I'm saying this, and behind this camera my fridge is being pulled apart. My freezer contents are in the living room in a freezer box. My fridge contents are in a cool box. I have drawers everywhere. Behind you is like a box. I have boxes in the living room because we're moving, and I'm struggling. So actually it might come across in this episode. I might be talking a little bit faster. I'm living in chaos and I cannot cope. So that actually might be a reason why I really couldn't cope with having bought and wasted money, because it's 80% acrylic, 20% wool, having wasted money on yarn that I just could not use. I couldn't use for myself. I couldn't bring myself to wear such a high content of acrylic, and we'll put that down to fear. I just don't want to burden my body. It's the same. I suppose too much education is probably a bad thing, and I know too much about microplastics and their effect on the body, especially with estrogen driven cancers, and it would just all became too much. And because I had the Billy sweater that hasn't had any work on it since I last showed you at all. I have my crochet blanket that's now a dressing gown. I have my Dorothy hat. I had this and a patch I'll talk to you about in a minute, which took minutes, it doesn't really matter, but it was something, it was all piling up. And then I had to deal with the fact of having 200 grams of this yarn, using money and not having a purpose for, and I was getting upset about it. So I spoke to my eldest daughter, and she was like, yeah mum, I'll have that in socks, I like it rainbow coloured, a little bit Harry Potter element, and she's 17 and adores Harry Potter. And you may have gathered by now that we're moving, and we're moving into a 2-bedroom bungalow. I have 2 teenage daughters, and the eldest will be going to university pretty soon. Not pretty soon, that's my stomach. At least to give me a time to pause. Quiet. Not pretty soon. She's doing her A-levels at the moment, but she's going to need a base when she comes home, and she needs an area for now, because the second bedroom, the bedrooms are small, and you'll see it if you're interested. I'm going to vlog a lot about the move and what we're doing and how we're bringing the house up. So what's happening is we're going to have a space in the loft, just a temporary kind of storage kind of space for where she will lay her head when she's home. It will be fully insulated, but it won't be on the heating system. So she's going to need a standalone electric heater. It's going to cost a lot of money. We're going to have to think about a lot of money to run. We're going to have to think about it what to do for the best. So yes, she's quite happy with having these socks ready for when she goes up there, and even though they probably won't be warm enough in the winter, they're a good start from the autumn. So this is just my 2x2 own preference of making a 2x2 sock, and I used a 40, no I didn't, yes I did, I cast on 40 stitches using a 4mm needle, and this is Aran weight yarn. So she's quite happy, and I cannot wait to have these complete and just get the amount of projects that I have on the go gone. Yeah. All right, now last bit, a little bit of a patch, felted patch, not fully felted. I wanted some of the stitch definition to still be there. I used some leftovers from this, the Charlotte and the Musket Jamisons of Shetland double knitting. And the reason why I needed a patch for going away to see my father-in-law is because he has a 100% acrylic cardigan that is, it's my stomach. I am really sorry. I must have breakfast before I podcast because this happened on episode 4 as well. So my father has a 100% acrylic, very thick fleece lined cardigan, and we were up there in the week between Christmas and New Year just gone, and he'd shown me his cardigan, a grey cardigan, and it had a singe marking. And what he'd done was he had his arm of his sleeve was draping over his lamp, and he burnt it. Now, I've seen some mock-ups of acrylic yarns bursting into flames. He's lucky he didn't set his living quarters on fire, I think. Very lucky. Thankfully he was in the room. I'm guessing he was in the room because it's about 1 inch by 2 inch. So I said I would knit him a woolen patch, and I felted it because this is 100% Shetland and that is an acrylic cardigan, so that will be going in the wash, and I wanted to subject it to so much, don't want to say the word abuse, I just said it, didn't I? Subjected it to a lot of manhandling, being in very hot water, agitated, and with soap. So it's hopefully shrunk all it's going to, and it will go on his cardigan and hide that patch. So that is all my little sidelines jobs done. And although it doesn't seem like much to detract me from this, I have had problems in knitting this. I've made errors, I've had to pull back. And yeah, I did put on my vlog video, it'll be in the first 10 minutes if you're not interested but you want to see. I made a horrible mistake on splitting for the sleeves with this, and I still don't know what I did. I still can't learn from the process, but it's not been plain sailing, I have to admit. And I forget, knitting in DK takes longer than I thought. Like, you forget because I haven't really, this was with a loose gauge. The Felix cardigan was quite a loose gauge. This was a double knitting on a 3.75mm needle, so it was quite a tight gauge, and yeah, it escaped my brain how long it would actually take to knit. So that leaves us with the Dorothy hat. Dorothy hat by Claire Walls, and she has the Flossy podcast, and I spoke a lot about it in the previous episode, episode 4, so I won't continue. Just that I'm knitting this out of leftovers from a jumper that I'd knit for my husband that he couldn't get over his head very well, that I took all of the yarn out, then re-dyed for this dusky beigey colour, and now I knit that into a ranunculus, and I'm now using the leftovers to make this hat. So this is one complete, what's it called? It's gone. This is the first 18 stitches of the pattern repeat. This is one pattern repeat. No, this is the first this is the first 18 stitches of the pattern, and then I now need to do the pattern repeat of this, and then I can start to close it in. I think it's a stunning design. I did forget to mention the last time, I need to have some breakfast. So sorry, I hope you can't hear it. What was I saying? I forgot to mention last time that I omitted the twisted 1x1 rib for the cuff. I like 2x2 rib often if I can get away with it, and it's worked in many places, but because I've gone, so you can see the cable runs nicely into the ribbing, but somewhere like here, there, I'm off a little bit, but I don't mind that. I honestly don't mind it. The pattern does also have you it's also a folded rib, but I was after a beanie, and I'm not really, where have I put my yarns? Oh yeah, I haven't really got that much in the way of leftovers, so I didn't really want to run short by doing a turnover cuff. So I'm more than happy with those decisions. Whether it fits me, I do not know. So this is Drops Nepal, and the colourway it's actually dyed. You know, I've been messing on with it myself, and I'm knitting this on 4mm needles, and I am using a short double pointed for my cables, and that's how I'm doing the hat. It's a little bit more intensive than I wanted it to be. It is taking me a little while, and I have been distracted, but I really want this finished now. I really want it finished. It's time. I need monogamous knitting, and I really need to get on with my husband's baby sweater. That's starting to play heavy on me now because I haven't knit on it, and it's just time for a complete palette refresh. I feel like I'm a little bit stuck in a bit of a knitting rut, and things are taking too long, and I think a lot of that has to do with actually feeling quite stressed about the situation with the extra projects and the extra yarn, and actually not enjoying knitting those, not enjoying the process, not enjoying the materials. Yeah, so that has affected me a little bit now and then. Got to clean up my leftovers just before I move on to this last little bit. So I've got 44 grams left of the Jamison's and Shetland DK, and I'm not wasting these. I think because I'm going to have to buy some more yarn, I'll talk about this in a minute, some more yarn to put into this project, I will get myself some Spindrift. I've been using Jamison and Smith 2-ply jumper weight on there, but I think it's time for some more. There is quite a bit of Spindrift in here, in this one more so. I'm chopping and changing projects. So yes, so I need to buy some yarn for this. So let's go Spindrift, and let's, while we're on it, treat ourselves to a little bit more yarn and make some bed socks. Top up this 44 grams, make use of them, and let's have something useful out of it. Now, I also said this about the leftovers of my Felix cardigan when I held the strand single. Oh, that's that. I was talking about needing to buy more yarn to make use of this. Now I have 40 grams exactly of this, and it is just enough to make a headband. I have been gravitating towards like a stretchy cotton fabric as a headband, because my hair, when I get up in the morning, it is horrendous. I mean, it's still not a lovely bouffant right now, is it really? But so when I'm just staying in the house and I'm not going anywhere, I will just stick a headband on. And I thought, I've seen a nice one that Fibre Tales does, and she says you need 40 grams of this yarn. So that's what I'm going to do, and I will wear this when I'm out walking in the autumn. Yeah, before it gets to the time where you need your head covering and you need some full yarns on your head. So I'm quite excited about this, but it's on the back burner. And fancy being the type of personality that gets excited about leftovers. And then the only other one I've got in here, this is, I knit my daughter the gingerbread sweater by Espace Tricot, which is a free pattern. And this is a commercial yarn, and it does have some nylon in, but it also has wool and alpaca in it, and it's beautifully soft. So because it has nylon in, I thought I'd hang on to this and make myself some socks. And socks that I need are some summer socks to go in my walking boots, but they just, basically a pair of shorty socks, I think, so that just say comes over my cuff, so I haven't got too much wool on my foot, too much wool on my ankle, so I can wear my walking boots with shorts. So I think that's what these are going to go into. And that's all the leftovers I have. And I've been settling myself, being overwhelmed by this issue in working out what I can use my leftovers for. And that, with my type of personality and I'm highly sensitive. I'm an introverted, highly sensitive person, and that's been settling me. Yeah, that's been settling me. Well, I've just realised that all you can see of my, I think that's just beeped off. Oh, it hasn't. Sorry. I've just realised, should I do the edit thing? I've just realised that all you can see is this bit of the Folksy sweater. I'm so sorry, not much of a backdrop. Anyway, all right, my crocheted blanket, that is now going to be a dressing gown. The first half is complete, and it's been a lovely backdrop here, and then I have been putting some on to the third one, so that's on its way. I was supposed to count to tell you how many I had to go, but I forgot all about it. I'm going to be taking this, the fourth one, away with me because it's smaller, and this is all I have left to go in it, and that's why I'm putting it in the smaller one, because I don't think I have enough on these little balls to go around this the size it is now. So that's all I have to play with, which is why I need to be buying some more yarn to bring it to a conclusion. I do have this, but this is what I'm using for attaching it all together, and probably a little cuff when it comes to sewing it all together. So then, I think that is all the knitting. I'm starting to get a little bit warm in my Augustin's number. Can't remember. Episode 2 maybe? Okay, that's it for the knitting. And just a little bit at the end, if you're interested, about the I suppose about what's going on with the house, because that's really the main thing with us at the moment. We've had the paperwork through. It appears that the house was built in, the bungalow was built in 1975, and it's only had one owner. The old couple that lived there is the only people that's has been in the house, which is quite a bizarre. Yeah, it's such a dated house, and like I said, I will show you in the vlogs. It does need some work, and I feel a little bit bad about pulling it all together. I've lost my backdrop, look. Pulling it all apart to put my stamp on it. But we'll have to, especially because there are no white goods in the kitchen. They've all been taken out, so there's no washing machine, no fridge freezer, no cooker. And thankfully, we've bought a cooker. It's sitting in my living room there, accumulating dust. So I do have the white goods, but I think what we will be doing is we will be setting up a makeshift kitchen area in the, call it a dining room. I'm kind of calling it a breakfast room because I'm northern and we don't do dining rooms, certainly not how I was brought up. It's all quite relaxed. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. So yeah, but it looks like the gent passed away first, and the lady was 93, I think. She passed away at the end of the year last year. So knowing those little bits of information is it's pulling on my heartstrings, you know. If I didn't know that, I would be all right, but yeah, it's very sad. Anyway, the camper van's up and running. Like I said, I will be going to Scotland in it. Well, I'll let you know. The vlog situation. I know some of you told me that you don't like the vlogs, and that's all right. I get it. But I was conscious of I'm going to be doing lots of different things and lots of different crafts. My life's going to take off on a different tangent to what I'm used to, and it is a little bit of following the dream. I've got garden space to sort out. We're getting chickens. The cost of living is just going. And I just feel like I'm much more than a knitter. And also, cards on the table, it's not good for me to sit down and knit and knit and knit and knit for YouTube content. And there's much more to me, and I just feel like because the cancer is in the background of everything, it's not. But because I'm talking about knitting for my chest, it's always going to crop up. And I know that there are ladies that are watching that are in a similar situation right now. and it might just help seeing someone just getting on with things, happy, content, working at life, and getting over it. And there are groups of us out there that have had cancer, are still have cancer, and live full lives. And I just feel like I have a lot to give in that respect, because I'm all about positivity, and I think I'm looking for a bit more of a purpose in life, and I know that I'm helping some of you by doing these knitting videos, and you never know, I might help even more people by doing the vlogs. So yeah, I love making the videos, and I am an introvert, and I don't surround myself with that many people, and this is my way of not communicating with the outside world, because I do that, I do leave the house. Yeah, right, we'll wrap it up. This was episode 5, and thanks ever so much for getting through to the end. Obviously you can tell I have a lot going through my mind, I have a lot going on. I'm very self-critical, I put pressures on myself that I don't need to, and that's probably come through on this episode. So if I've been a little bit more different to what you're used to, I'm ever so sorry. But all any of us can do is try our best with what we've got, eh? Until the next time, bye.